America's infatuation with SUVs rests in the security that those vehicles bring. Consumers know that SUVs are practical, capable, and safe. That whatever life throws at them, their SUV will be able to handle it. Off-road-oriented SUVs then represent the next step in that security. And off-road versions of off-road-oriented SUVs, think Toyota 4Runner, TRD Pro, Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and this, the Ford Bronco Raptor, represent the pinnacle of that security. The Raptor is the biggest and baddest Bronco on sale today, and its design is a ceaseless reminder of the car's capabilities. You get 37-inch tires from the factory, which helps give the Bronco Raptor 13.1 inches of ground clearance, nearly 5 inches more than a regular Bronco, and an overall height of nearly 6.5 feet. I am 6'2" for reference. To accommodate these massive tires and the wider stance that Ford has given the car, the Bronco Raptor is nearly 10 inches wider than a standard Bronco. That extra width necessitates these amber lights across the front due to government regulations, as well as these absurdly wide fender flares. The first time I saw a Bronco Raptor on the road, I laughed out loud. Other visual changes include these reptilian-looking air vents on the side of the hood, which are functional, a black section to the hood with more functional vents and Raptor logos, this unique front grille with Ford spelled out in muscular font, a Raptor logo around back that is semi-obscured by this massive spare tire, and these gunmetal Raptor side steps. The Bronco Raptor does feature a bigger and more powerful engine than the standard V6 Bronco, although the changes are somewhat minimal. This is a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that makes 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. That's an increase of 88 horsepower and 25 pound-feet of torque over the standard V6 Bronco. You'll hit 60 in less than 6 seconds, but because of this car's added weight, the added performance isn't noticed all that much. Inside, Ford has given the Bronco Raptor Raptor-specific seats, which are nicely bolstered and very comfortable, as well as a Raptor-specific steering wheel, which I quite like. It's very chunky. You get adjustable exhaust, suspension, and steering, as well as an R mode, which allows you to customize all of the various settings on the Bronco Raptor. There are also 6 auxiliary switches for all of the accessories that you would want to add to your Bronco Raptor, and obviously the roof and doors do come off. Even though the Bronco Raptor is a very large vehicle, all of the increases in size on this car are done outside of the vehicle's cabin, meaning it has the same interior space as a base Bronco with the 4-cylinder and steel wheels. So when you climb into the back of the Bronco Raptor, the side step is definitely very helpful. You don't actually have a lot of space. I'm 6'2", and I do just have enough headroom, just have enough knee room, but I'm feeling pretty cramped. This seat is very upright. Let's see if it reclines. No, it doesn't recline. The seat's very upright. Not a whole lot of space for the shoulders. I'm pretty much pressed up against this pillar. If there was someone sitting in the middle seat, it would be very cramped. Not a whole lot of creature comforts back here. It's a Bronco, not supposed to be, but it is not a huge vehicle, even though it looks like a huge vehicle on the outside. Driving the Ford Bronco Raptor, the first thing you notice in this car is just how wide it is, because every Bronco has these gray hooks on the front of the top of the hood, on the front left and the front right. And on a normal Bronco, those kind of signify the very edges, the very front corners of the vehicle. But on this vehicle, you are very cognizant that you have these massive fender flares. This car is 10 inches wider than a regular Bronco that go way past those gray hooks on the hood. So it is deceptively wide. You just really need to keep in mind how wide this vehicle is when you're driving down the road. And I constantly feel like I am in the other lane, approaching the curb, just because of how wide this stance is. It's not the most easy to live with around town. It is very, very wide. But that's what gives it its cool looks. I will give it a little gas. And it's quick. There's no doubt about it. 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque are nothing to laugh at, but this is such a large vehicle that the power isn't like anything extraordinary. You know, the Raptor R, the F-150 Raptor R, that thing is faster than it should be and really fits the insane design of that car. This, well, it definitely has adequate power and you'll be able to do all of the things you want to do in terms of passing, overtaking, etc. It doesn't match the insanity that the design of this car suggests. That being said, because the stance is so wide on this vehicle compared to a normal Bronco, it actually handles relatively well. Going around sweeping bends and tight corners, the Bronco Raptor stays pretty planted just because of like the center of gravity, even though it's so high on these massive tires and with how wide they are, you can push this vehicle around corners at far faster speeds than you could a normal Bronco. Just because of physics, it remains really planted. So that is one performance benefit to the super wide track of this vehicle. But this is not a sports car, nor is it trying to be, so just kind of driving the Bronco Raptor probably like it will be driven for the most part on urban, suburban roads. It's pretty comfortable actually. The 37-inch tires really absorb a lot of imperfections in the road, help smooth it out, and these seats are super comfortable. I'm a big fan of Raptor seats. Like Ford makes great seats in general, and the Raptor seats are no exception. They're pretty well bolstered so that you can corner with speeds if you want to. And yeah, it's definitely, it's a well-riding car. Right, I've got another opportunity here to give it some gas if it took a second. Yeah, I mean, it's fast. I was in too high there going downhill and the wheels did not spin out. I had them lose traction a little bit before in too high, which can be fun. But okay, back to normal driving. I think the thing that makes this car the most fun to drive, honestly, is the steering wheel. It's so chunky. It really is fitting of how massive this vehicle is. You feel like you are captaining a ship when you turn the steering wheel. It's not the largest in diameter, but gripping it just feels substantial, and that is really nice. Other than the steering wheel and the seats, the cabin does feel very familiar to a regular Bronco. You've got your infotainment system, fully digital instrument cluster. Everything is very, you know, hard plastics and rugged because it's meant to be able to be like washed out if you get it dirty when you're off-roading with the doors off. It's very easy, very familiar, very Ford. I don't fully feel like I'm driving a Raptor when I drive this car. Maybe it's the engine. The F-150 Raptor uses a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that definitely is more noticeable performance improvements and as well as sound. That vehicle sounds a lot better, especially when you put the exhaust in the sport mode. This 3 liter twin turbo V6 also doesn't sound great. It does have adjustable exhaust like the Ford F-150 Bronco, or like the Ford F-150 Raptor. Yeah, I really don't hear a difference in this car's exhaust settings. They all kind of sound the same, and that same isn't great. It just doesn't sound great in any setting, and it's a little disappointing because this car shouts its absurdity in its design, yet not in its exhaust note. So my main takeaway for the Bronco Raptor is it doesn't really feel like a full Raptor. The F-150 Raptor really does feel like a very different vehicle from a regular F-150, potentially because a regular F-150 is more of a work vehicle and the Raptor is more off-road oriented, whereas a regular Bronco is off-road oriented to start. But this just doesn't feel quite as special as an F-150 Raptor, and it doesn't drive really that much different than a regular Bronco as well. The performance, I'm gonna floor it again. Like, it's quick, but it's nothing to write home about, and undoubtedly it has great improvements in off-road capability. I wasn't able to take this car off-road. I don't think most owners will be taking their Bronco or Bronco Raptor off the road. This is $75,000. You don't want to mess it up. Because it's $75,000 also, I feel like a regular Bronco with the V6 with the Sasquatch package delivers a lot of what this car does. It looks insane. It is has fine performance. That car only has 25 fewer pound-feet of torque than this vehicle, and it's lighter because it's not as wide. It doesn't have these 37-inch tires. I just feel like that vehicle is a little more fitting of the Bronco name. That's not to say that this Bronco Raptor is a bad car or that you're silly for buying it. It definitely stands out, and it definitely has, like I said, those off-road oriented improvements. I just think for most people, you can save the money and get a regular Bronco with the Sasquatch package and have similar levels of enjoyment from the car. So that's the Ford Bronco Raptor. It looks insane and has some extraordinary capabilities, yet its engine and exhaust note leave a little to be desired. Potentially, Ford is making room for a Bronco Raptor R with a V8. Who's to say? While this is definitely the ultimate Bronco on sale today, if it were my money, I would save some money and just get a regular Bronco with the Sasquatch package. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.